Hi everybody, welcome to another Taubmans live colour session. My name's Fiona, I'm the Taubmans colour specialist and we're here tonight to talk all things colour. So if you're joining us tonight, I'll quickly run through how the session goes. For the next half an hour, I'll be on screen in front of the camera answering all of your colour questions, and we'll also have a little bit of a masterclass if you like. Tonight is all about interiors with a focus on kitchens. And while I'm presenting, or while I'm in front of the camera, I'll ask you please to hold off uploading any photos due to the fact that you can't load them into the feed while I'm still talking. But once I finish, after the next half an hour, I'm on screen for another half an hour, if not an hour or so, to answer all of your questions. So if you do have any photos that you're wanting to share with me because you'd like some colour advice, etc., please pop them into the feed, on this feed, once we finish streaming. So it's great to be back for another week. It's been a fantastic week being out and about in stores, etc., helping people with all of their colour queries, helping people with paint and also projects. So that's what these sessions are designed for too. If you are embarking on a renovation, a new build, some type of project, and you're wanting some advice on colour, or if you're wanting to discuss a project that you're embarking on, or if you'd like some information about the wonderful portfolio of products we have available to beautify your space, you are at the right place. So as I said, tonight we're going to focus on interiors, but that doesn't mean you can't ask a question about exteriors, so fire away. But yes, interiors it is, with a focus on kitchens. So look, for me, when you're talking about designing a kitchen, etc., colour plays a huge part. And there are so many people out there doing DIY projects at the moment, and kitchens are one of the big DIY projects that people do. And the amazing kitchens that are available to purchase, whether it be, you're looking at flat pack kitchens, etc., and they come in some beautiful, beautiful colours, some fantastic whites out there. So I want to focus on that. So I really want to bring to life tonight, if you are choosing to use, say a flat pack style kitchen, a DIY style kitchen, the colours or the whites that are available, I want to talk about how you can match the whites, because from my experience, when you're putting in a white kitchen, I think it's really important that the white, or the colour that you're going to pop onto all your broad walls, etc., especially if you're wanting to use white, works with that joinery colour. If you do have a white that tends to have, say, let's just say a bit more of a yellow undertone, and then you're using a soft grey on the walls, but the undertone's not quite right, you can risk the fact, or the colour on the joinery can start to look dirty, or vice versa. So if you're using white joinery, I think what looks fantastic is to have that seamless transition and to use the same colour white on your walls. And this sort of colouring, if you like, works particularly well when you are talking about doing a kitchen in a small environment. And if you're keeping the walls in the kitchen the same colour, again, it creates that illusion of space. Okay, I've got my first question here from Phoebe. I'll answer that quickly and then I'll come back to what we're going to go through. So a perfect white for a kitchen lounge space, north facing with American oak flooring. Okay, Phoebe, it depends on how light you want to go. So the first white that I think of that comes to mind, you need to take into account, if you've got an American sort of oak style flooring, the colour of the flooring can actually influence the colour on your walls. So, and this is where I always recommend that once I give you a colour, get yourself a sample pot, and you want to get yourself a piece of cardboard, at least a metre by a metre square. Brush out the sample pot onto the cardboard and move that cardboard around your space at different times of day. So as you're saying here, for a kitchen lounge space, move it around all areas of that space. And in particular, pop it down near the flooring and pop the sample up near the top of the ceiling, in natural light, and also artificial lighting, so the lighting that you're going to have in that space. And then you'll really see how that white's going to perform within that environment. And I think that's really, really important. Okay, so I'm thinking the first white that comes to mind is Taubmans Crisp White, a beautiful, beautiful white that sits with so many other colours. It's our number one white as well. I've got it in my place. absolutely adore the colour. And another colour that you could look at as well is a colour called Alpine Snow. It's a beautiful white with a soft, very soft sort of green-grey undertone, and that could work really, really well with your oak flooring. So there's a couple there for you. Okay, so back to, and Phoebe, if you do have any further questions, please pop them in the feed and then I'll continue to answer them for you. So we're talking about whites, and I'm talking about using the same colour that you have on your joinery, on your wall. Works particularly well in a space that is small, or it works particularly well where you're wanting to create the illusion of more space as well. So starting with that, so I'm going to take you to, I guess it's what we have happening at the moment. We've got a bit of a promo going. So I'm going to go to my iPad. I've got a lot of things happening here. And I'm in the corner. Awesome, I'm working. Okay, so, thanks Bryce. Bryce has always said, thanks for joining us. I used that colour in my place too, love it. Yes, it is a fabulous white. You can't go wrong with it. So at the moment we have match any white with Taubmans, and so tonight I want to take you through how you can do that. And as you can see, we have our Endure can. That is going to be the paint that I am always going to recommend for you when you are doing your internal walls. It is fantastic. It is scrub resistant, grease resistant. It has all of your mold inhibitors inbuilt into the paint. It offers a lifetime guarantee, and it's been endorsed. I'm trying to get my words out. I'm talking too fast. I'll just slow down. It has been endorsed by the asthma and allergy by Sensitive Choice. So if you suffer from any asthma or allergies, it's very safe to use within your space, and you can certainly paint out a bedroom if you like and sleep in it that night. That is how fantastic this product is. So I'm going to take you on a little bit of a journey, and I'm going to show you how to create your own colour using Colorsmith, because I want to focus on this. Then I'm going to take you to a kitchen that I've drawn up and show you how I superimpose the colour and show you what you can do. So while I get myself ready, I'm going to pop on the screen here the QR codes for Colorsmith. So I'll just leave that on for a moment or so. So if you're wanting to follow what I'm about to do with Colorsmith, you can download the app from either the App Store or Google Play. There's a QR code there for either. So if you just hold your phone up to that, it will direct you to that site where you can download. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take you to Colorsmith, and you can see the app down there. It takes you straight to this screen if you like, and this is where you can create colour from a match, or you can actually create colour from the colour library. That's a pre-populated library there in here, which offers a multitude of colours. So if you're shopping for blues or greens, whites, you can start your journey in there. But for tonight, I'm actually going to use the Colorsmith reader here, and I also have a piece of joinery here, a kitchen joinery sample, and I want to show you how I can create a beautiful white that I can put onto the walls to create that seamless transition. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Create from Match. And then you've got a few options that you can use. You can take a photo straight away and use it there, or you can go into the photo library, so it will it'll sync with your photo library if you like and find photos, etc., and you can choose what you want to do. There's also a Colorsmith window, but as I said, we're going to use the Colorsmith reader, so I'll select that. It's going to connect to my device. If I double tap, waking it up, you can see that it's flashing blue. So if I hit connect and then connect to a new device, connect to the black Colorsmith reader. Beautiful, it has found my device. Okay, so I am all connected and I've actually calibrated. I did that today. So if you're wanting to ensure colour accuracy, you can calibrate it. I recommend calibrating the machine, or the little reader I should say, every day that you're going to use it, and make sure that it's fully charged, and that's going to give you optimal colour matching if you like, or colour creating. So I've got my piece of joinery, I've also got my little reader on here, and I'm going to go Create from Match, and then I'm going to hit Scan Colour, You can see it's working some magic, and look at that. It has brought up an excellent match. So here we go here. So the next thing I'm going to do is, from this, I'm going to go select. And then here I get to save my color. So you can pretty well name your color whatever you want to call it. So for tonight, I'm going to call it, what am I going to call it? Kitchen. I'll call it Kitchen Project. Oops. Save color. There we go. So I have now created a color called Kitchen Project. So what I can now do with that is the information that I can get from this is something that I want to now take you through. So I can order, as you can see there, a test pot, order it in store. So if I click order in store, what it does is it populates a QR code. Now this QR code contains all of the information that is needed to create the paint color, if you like. So that is the recipe in there, or the formula. So with that now, where it says share, I can share that across all of my social media platforms. I can airdrop it, I can text it, email, etc., etc. So you basically have color at your fingertips that you can circulate around. So if you're wanting to create a color and then send it off to your painter and he can run in and grab your paint, etc., a very easy way to do it. And you then get to keep these on your phone, so you always have the color available. And if you're anything like me, where I have paint cans where I've got labels on the side, and I've got the paint dripping down the side, and you look and you're like, oh, I'm not really sure what that color name was, and it doesn't have the formula. Well, you now have it available in your phone, so it alleviates any of that. But what I truly love about this, and I'm just going to go back, is the fact that I can, down where it says intensity, I can heighten the intensity of the color and create a monochromatic color scheme. I can hit similar, and I can find colors that are very similar to what I have. And it's kind of like when you're in store and you're looking at your color and you've had it made and it's presented, and you go, you know what, it's not quite right. It needs a little bit more black, or I'd like a little bit more green or red. So when you're looking at the similar colors, that's kind of like what it's doing. But what I think is fantastic is if I hit combinations, it brings up a beautiful, as you can see there, color palette of colors that are available to use as accent colors, or use as colors that are going to work with the color that you have created. Because I think one of the biggest questions is that you find a color that you like, or as we have done here tonight, you create a color that you like, and it's like, what am I going to put with it? And that's one of the questions I'm asked all of the time when I'm in store. Okay, I've got this color, what would you recommend going with that? So if you create a color with Colorsmith, you've got the combinations function, which brings you up an entire color palette. So I'm going to use a couple of the colors from here and show you what I have done with a kitchen. So if I go into this beautiful green here, I think it is amazing. I'm going to save the color. And you know what I'm going to call it? I'm going to call it Farmhouse. It actually reminds me of a color that I created for a customer in store. She wanted a beautiful green, and she had an image that she gave me, and we made sensational green that she's going to have her kitchen painted in, actually. So again, we've got the order in store. So again, I can share this QR code across all of my social media platforms and take it into my local paint store and have my paint tinted up. And now also what you can see down here is there are some color values like the RGB 161, 180 and 167. Now these are the numbers that are really important for me when I use a digital computer program to pop the colors in and bring it to life. And I'll show you how I do that soon. I'm going to go back again. And I'm going to also, I think this green here is quite special. So again, it's save my color. Name it whatever you feel like you would like to name it. I'm going to call it wheatgrass. It reminds me of the grass that they put in smoothies. So save my color. Again, order in store. Populates that QR code. And there was another color here that I thought was quite beautiful. We'll go back to this. Which was this soft sort of pinky hue, if you like. You know what, I'm going to call that pink champagne. Oops, beautiful. So from that, one scanning of my piece of joinery, oops, throw it down, sorry about that. I have created, I'm going to go into some beautiful, beautiful colours. So you can see from the 4 colours going down. So you've got the kitchen project, which was the original piece of joinery. You've got farmhouse, wheatgrass, and then you've got pink champagne. So that is a beautiful colour palette. So what I want to do now is, I'll come back to the camera for a moment. And then I'm going to take you to my computer. Let's pop myself up in the corner. Awesome. So here's a kitchen that I have that I've drawn up, and what I have done is I have, from the colour that I created, and I must admit I did it earlier, I have used the RGB codes and I have popped it into the joinery here. So, and I've also put it on the wall, so you can sort of see that the walls and the joinery are quite seamless. And I think that this looks really, really good in a space, especially when you're using whites. But what you can do, now that we've created a colour palette from the joinery, we can bring to life some of the colours. So I'm going to now show you, we'll just go back in my model, of some of the colours that I created earlier. So there's the farmhouse green. So green seems to be very much on trend, and it is certainly being utilised within a kitchen space. So I'm thinking that for, let me just have a look here, for my overhead cupboards, cupboards and for the bench top there, you can see I've introduced a splash of green, and I think what it does, it really brings this space to life. So again, reiterating that, you know, we're talking about whites and we're talking about kitchens. I've brought to life the piece of joinery and created a colour palette from that. I also want to show you, you know, from this you could use, you know, when we talk about creating colour palettes and we talk about having a well-balanced, aesthetically pleasing designed space. And so the way to use colour, I guess, is that there's what we call a 60-30-10 rule. So you can use 60% of a colour throughout the space, 30% of another colour in the space, and then introducing 10%. So for something like this, from the colours that we created, you know, you've got your 60%, your overall joinery going into your walls, and then you've got your overhead cupboards, if you like, and your island bench in a beautiful soft green. So we're kind of adding like 30%, and then you could introduce another 10%, and that might be the accents that you're going to use within the accessories within your kitchen. So it's doing it that way, working with relatively, you know, three colours works relatively well within most spaces. Sometimes you can introduce 4, you know, using a monochromatic colour scheme, so doing your 60-30-10, but the 60% might be a monochromatic of one hue in varying shades, etc. But if you're wondering how to get that lovely, balanced, aesthetically pleasing space, that's certainly something to consider. Again, I'm going to show you, and then I'll talk a little bit more about, I really do love this pink champagne hue. I think it's quite gorgeous. And I think that that actually works quite well if you're wanting to do something a little bit different. And I think it works really, really well with, you know, you've got your timber within this kitchen to ground it, obviously on the floor and sort of wrapping around your island bench as well, and on the handles. So that sort of grounds it, like if you're going to introduce, you know, a pinky sort of hue into the kitchen. But that's how you can do it. So if you are, I'll come back on the screen now. If you are, you know, looking to embark on a kitchen renovation and you're wanting to use colour in the kitchen and you're not sure how, get your piece of joinery, scan it as I did tonight with Colorsmith, and then hit the combinations function, and it brings up a beautiful palette of colours that are designed to be tonally correct and work with the colour that you have. So I've just shown you how easy it is, and I'll quickly show you as I just flick through there, I'll quickly show you on here. We'll go back to my iPad. I'll pop myself up in the corner. So just showing you again, so there's the joinery, there is the kitchen, beautiful, all white if you like, and you would then carry that colour onto the walls. Here we have it all white again with the splash of green that we've created as a feature or a highlight. Here we go. I really, really love this, and I think this works extremely well. So you've taken a piece of joinery and you've created a beautiful colour, and you've saturated the space within the kitchen in that one hue, if you like, that one beautiful green. But you have now introduced timber as your overheads, again grounding the space, warming up the space. Here's that beautiful pink champagne, which I think works extremely well. I love it. I love it with the timber, and I love it with the joinery colour. A bit of fun. There's the wheatgrass, the green that we've created, a little bit more intense, etc. Also, still very much on trend because green, it just seems to be everywhere at the moment. Two-tone green kitchen, why not? If you're up for a bit of fun and you're committing to colour, I think this works extremely well. If you're going to do something like this, I certainly would keep all your walls really white and light. And then just to show you again, created that beautiful white joinery, and there you have it in front of you there on the screen, the beautiful colours that are created in the combinations designed to work with that space. So easy. All right, now the other thing as well, I'm just looking to see if we have any questions. The other thing as well, something to consider if you're wanting to inject colour into a space but you're wanting to keep the kitchen all white, which you can successfully, a glass splashback is a great place to introduce colour. What I do recommend is that so there's two types of glass, and the one that you want to use is the Starfire glass, and that is the glass that it has had the majority of iron removed. And so when you look at glass and you can see a green tinge to it, it's actually the iron in the glass that tends to make it that colour. So you want to omit that green tinge, if you like, so that the colour that you're wanting as your splashback colour, you're going to get more clarity. So there's a little tip for you all there. But yes, a coloured splashback can work equally as well. Keep all of your walls and the joinery white, the same colour again, creating your own white for your walls. And then for your splashback, that's where you can add some colour. The other thing too, you can actually paint your own doors for kitchens, etc. And I know a lot of people are doing that. That works really, really well with what we've shown you tonight. So you can create a colour, you can have it put into pretty much all of our, or if you create a colour, all of our paint range if you like. But if you're going to be painting some interior kitchen doors, etc., so raw doors, you're going to want to prime them first, and then you could use something like Taubmans water-based enamel for like these MDF doors that I'm talking about. And the beauty of using a water-based enamel, our water-based enamel has what's called LTA, which is lipophobic technology. So, and what that actually means, you can Google all of this, is it pretty much repels fats. So if you're talking about renovating your kitchen, etc., fantastic product to go to. So I think I'll just check my notes to see if there's anything else that I should be, the other thing, like when I was talking about your 60-30-10, and it's lovely to have you would have heard me talk many times about having a hero within the space. And so I like to have a hero within a room or within a space that we're designing. And you know, that might be, for example, if we're talking colour, it might be having a feature wall where your eye is naturally drawn, you know, and that's the hero in the space. You walk in and you're sort of wowed by this beautiful colour, if you like. The other thing you can do is you can paint, and a lot of people are doing this. Everyone's into upcycling. So getting yourself an old chair perhaps and painting it in a fantastic bright colour and popping it in the corner of the kitchen, or getting yourself, you know, an old cabinet or something like that and revamping that in a bright colour and making that the hero in the space and popping it in your kitchen. So again, you know, we're talking about the 60-30-10, creating your own colours and sort of, you know, using predominantly white with a splash of something and then wanting that hero and you're not sure of what colour. I've just shown you tonight how you can create a colour, taking one of the beautiful combination colours and using that, you know, on the space or in the space on the piece of furniture that you're wanting to upcycle, etc. So you don't have to just put, what am I trying to say? You don't have to just limit yourself to colour within the kitchen. You can add accents, etc., you know, other things. So you can do whatever you like pretty much. I've given you lots and lots of tips. I think the whole idea about these sessions are to have you feeling very confident with colour and, you know, wanting to use colour within a space. I think colour has the ability to evoke an emotion, and, you know, using beautiful greens, etc., they're very calming, and there's nothing nicer than walking into a space that's predominantly white with some beautiful, beautiful greens. Okay, I'm going to answer some questions now because I've talked quite a lot about creating your own colour and how you can use it in a kitchen environment, etc. So let me just see what I have here. Okay, hi Leanne, thank you very much for joining our session. Sorry, I was just reading. Okay, your question is, I have cream and chocolate kitchen cabinets looking dated. I'm wanting to paint walls and living to uplift. Is it possible to get a modern, fresh look with older trend cabinets, or do I have to paint cabinets as well? So Leanne, you know, one of the easiest ways to uplift your kitchen cabinets can be as simple as changing the handles on your cabinets. So, you know, if you go and find yourself a groovy handle or an on-trend handle that's going to work with the joinery that you have, that's a quick lift. And then, you know, using some colours, whether you're choosing a beautiful white for your walls, and even injecting, like I'm imagining chocolate and cream, and then I'm thinking of a beautiful white, light crisp white, something that would work with that, and then introducing a soft dusty pink, or even something within the realms of a sage style green somewhere within your kitchen design can certainly uplift it. And even changing things like the accessories that you have sitting on your bench tops, etc., can certainly lift that as well. Now, if you do want to paint your kitchen cabinets, etc., we certainly have, there is a product within our portfolio of products available through White Knight called Renew, which can be used to repaint over or refresh, if you like, renew joinery that, you know, perhaps laminate, etc. So if you're wanting a little bit more information, pop something else into the feed, and I can certainly give you some links and direct you to where you can look for those products. But certainly have a look at something like a crisp white, and have a look at a beautiful dusty pink. And I'm thinking, I mean, there's a colour called Alberta Rose by Taubmans, obviously, which is beautiful. And I probably should, I'll see if I can get it up on the screen, but it's the third one down, which is a fabulous sort of tone. And you can see, like, when you're starting to look down there, looking more at, sort of chocolatey tones, that's going to work extremely well. I know you're probably thinking, oh, maybe pink in a kitchen, but it can look super. Another colour that you could certainly look to introduce, again with a beautiful soft white, and I did say a sage style green. I'll take you to, I think you could use something like white sage, which is the third one down, but you could also use, there is a beautiful tone here. Where are we? Which would look sensational with this one here called Highland Meadow. That would work beautifully as well with chocolate and cream. So there are some fabulous colours. I'm happy to give you some more if you'd like some more information. So just pop something else into the feed and I can come back to you. Thank you. Oh, okay, Leanne. So the product that for kitchen doors, so these are like, if you buy, as I was saying, if you're putting in a new kitchen, and you can buy paint your own doors, which are predominantly, they're an MDF, so they haven't been pre-painted or anything like that, and you'd use your primer sealer undercoat first, something like a 3-in-1, and then you could use a water-based enamel over the top. So we have a product called, and I should bring that up on the screen, I'll just quickly take you to my laptop, pop myself in the corner. We have a product, so if you go to www.taubmans.com.au, and it'll bring you up to the homepage like this. So if you hit products and you go down to doors and trims paint, This is the product that I mentioned, and I'll just, Taubmans water-based enamel. So this is fantastic. So what I love about this is it's non-yellowing, obviously being water-based. It self-levels beautifully. It's very low odor, and it's been endorsed by Sensitive Choice again. So for anybody that suffers from asthma or allergies, etc. Contains microbands, so you've got your mold inhibitors, etc. within this paint. But it also contains LTA, which is lipophobic technology. So literally means repels grease or repels fats. It's a fabulous product, certainly something well worth having a look at, and you can certainly find a lot more information here on our website. Okay, wow, it's 8:30 already. That concludes our online session. I've certainly talked a lot tonight. I hope you've got something out of tonight's session regarding using whites, etc. for kitchens, and how you can best use white, and certainly how you can create a colour scheme using this amazing tool called Colorsmith. And I will, once I'm off screen, pop some information and some links into the feed regarding Colorsmith, and I'll even share the colours that I've created tonight. But as I said, I'm off screen now. I'm behind the scenes for the next half an hour or so. So if you have any further questions, please feel free to upload them. But I'd like to thank you all for joining us tonight. And as I always say, stay safe. I hope you have a great week. We look forward to seeing you here again next week, and happy painting. Thanks very much. Bye.